profit is more than just revenue. It's easy to get caught up in that top line of a project, right? You land a $200,000 kitchen. You're like, this is my biggest kitchen. And it might look great on paper, but if you're walking away with barely enough to support your lifestyle or pay your bills, it's not really a success. It's just stress in disguise. Every job that you take should serve your bottom line and your long-term goals. And if you are not pricing for profit, you're just buying yourself a job and you're working at the expense of your clients. And it's a job typically that you cannot quit. Another thing that I've learned over the years is that systems give you freedom. And I learned this with my children as well. You know, if my kids know that they go to sleep every night at 9:00, that actually gives them freedom rather than some nights you go to sleep at 10, sometimes you go to sleep at 8. They know their schedule. They know how much time they have left, when they have to get in the shower, when they have to brush their teeth. It actually creates freedom not only for them, but for us. I didn't always believe this when it comes to work, when it comes to business. I thought that they were reserved typically, like these systems and these SOPs were for big companies with staffs. Systems are for small companies as well, and they can create profit and they can create freedom more so than anything else. And just because you are a small business doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your own systems. They don't have to be these extremely intricate, robust systems, but you have to have systems. You have to have processes in order to grow, to scale, to hire somebody, to train somebody. You have to have systems in place. They create the freedom, they create the standards, they create profitability for your business. Without systems, you are oftentimes just reacting to what's happening rather than having a plan in place. Pre-construction is a system for me that really changed a lot. I know that we've dug into that a lot, but that was one of the big changes that I made in my business that really made me reconsider the way that I was doing things. And that led to me understanding the amount of time that I had budgeted and allocated to a job, and then how to manage that on the back end to guarantee that I was as profitable as I anticipated, or as close to profitable as I anticipated. Again, really separating myself from the ego there and managing a job to expectation and to budget rather than to my needs, my wants, and perfectionism. Another thing is you don't have to do it all. Being a small business owner, we often feel, right, we're the estimator, we are the superintendent, we're the project manager, we're the client liaison, we're everyone. We wear every hat. And while that's true to a certain extent, and I still do that to a certain extent, there are things that you can allocate and assign to other individuals. And it could just be things that you don't want to do or things that you're not good at. But you have to realize that your time is best spent somewhere. And it could be from like an efficiency standpoint. It could be from a value perspective. But your time is best served somewhere. So you have to find that out with your client base. I just had a consulting call with a guy this morning, and he's wearing multiple hats, and he's having trouble managing the volume of work that he has in place. What's ending up happening is he's just spending too much time in all of these areas that he shouldn't be, and he's not able to charge for them. And there's a ton of inefficiency due to that. And running around in this sense, you can't gauge what your true costs are. You can't gauge where your time is best spent. You can't capture hours if you have no metric for the amount of hours that you're spending. So find things that you can allocate to other individuals, that you can assign to other individuals that suits their strengths and also suits your strengths. Find what you're really good at, where your time is the most valuable, and spend it there. Approach this from a profitability perspective, because at the end of the day, we're in business to make money. And if you are not profitable, you're not going to be sustainable. And you're lying to yourself about the type of business that you have. There's ways that I make money. There's aspects of my business that don't make me money. So I would rather spend my time on the tasks that have the highest impact from a profitability perspective. And that also comes outside of construction as well, right? If there's opportunities in my life that can make me more money than what I'm doing in construction, and it still fulfills me, I have to understand that there's an opportunity cost there. And where's my time best spent? What type of lifestyle does that provide for me? And how should I allocate my time because I shouldn't be doing everything. I shouldn't be doing tasks that I'm not good at, that I'm inefficient, that I can pay somebody to do that free me up to do things that are more profitable or higher impact. So as soon as you realize you don't need to do everything, that you don't have to do everything and you can't do everything, you have to pass those tasks off, and then you have to understand how to capture those costs. I think when we do everything ourselves, oftentimes we're not capturing the cost, and we're doing it to provide value through competition, and through really price point. And if you were to allocate those tasks sooner, you would realize that that's a cost that you need to recoup. You need to capture. It needs to be built into the cost of your doing business, which sets you in the right direction from a business perspective. I suggest that people start small with this. For me, it was bookkeeping. I realized early on that I was taking time after work to try and fumble and stumble my way through QuickBooks, and I was paying for a QuickBooks membership when I could hire a bookkeeper. I could get rid of my QuickBooks account and membership and pay a bookkeeper, and it would be less than the cost of my monthly membership, as well as the time that I was having to pull away from the job or not see my kids or not sleep. So that small fee that I could very easily integrate into my business was then captured through an overhead rather than me doing it for free after work at night, fumbling my way through that. Another huge skill that I learned that's been very valuable is saying no. And this is, in fact, a skill. The wrong job will wreck your schedule, your margins, and your mental health. For me, my physical health. The wrong client or wrong clients make you doubt your own worth and diminish your confidence. And that's not good for any of us. I've had consulting calls with people where I swear I just needed to get on the call with them and tell them that, yeah, you had a couple of jobs that didn't go your way. You lost a couple of jobs, but you can't lose sight of everything that you've done. You need to maintain your confidence. You need to understand that your processes, your systems are all dialed. You're just having a little bit of bad luck. And I think that when we begin to lose confidence in whatever aspect of our life is, but especially business, we start to question everything that we do. We start to question, are we too expensive? Is this the right sub? Is this the right employee? Am I spending my time where I should? So I think maintaining that confidence through ideal clients, through the correct clients, and steering clear of those toxic clients or clients that make you question your self-worth or your value is one of the most profitable things that you can do. Every no will make space for the right yes.